about that, you big stupid lizard? Oh, I can't feel my legs.
Scooter?
Oh, why? Why would you do that, Scott?
The T-Rex. I saw the T-Rex get in that tent.
Oh, do I look like a marsupial?
I am so sorry. I could have swore the T-Rex got in there.
Oh, you are crazy, man.
Well, do you want me to call you an ambulance?
Yes. Yes, please.
You're an ambulance. I'll see you later.
Oh, I hate you so much.
What's up, everybody? My name is Scott, and you're watching Kentucky Ballistics. And today, we're gonna see how much lead it takes to stop a bullet. Today, I have a rather large and dense cube of lead. This thing weighs nearly 65 pounds, is 6 inches wide, tall, and a little over 4 inches thick. This cube of lead comes from the Missouri Bullet Company. This is their magic alloy. It's basically hardball lead. And a big thank you and shout out to Ethan for crafting this for today's video. Looks are deceiving with this cube. It is actually extremely heavy, and I'm gonna show you just how heavy it is. That is a dense cube. All right, well now we need to get set up to shoot this thing. Okay, I'll get it set up. Dang it! Ah! Okay, we're gonna be real gentle this time. All right, now we're gonna start shooting this thing. We're gonna start out with a small bullet and then work our way up to a large bullet and see what it takes to make it through 4 inches of solid lead using really fast lead. Hello? Ow, spam again! Do you ever wonder where scammers get your phone number or why your inbox is flooded with spam? Well, there's companies out there called data brokers, and they sell your information without your consent to marketers and scammers, and they make billions! But thankfully, there's companies out there like today's sponsor, Aura, and they clobber spam. No, I don't need to renew my car's warranty! Aura is an all-in-one digital security, and you may already have a digital security tool, but not having Aura is like having a bidet, but using toilet paper anyways. It's like putting a screen door in your submarine. It's like wearing your raincoat in a thunderstorm with no pants. It's like locking your front door but leaving your back door wide open. With Aura, you're gonna get alerts if your personal info is found on the dark web, real-time fraud alerts for credit and banking, 24/7 monitoring to help keep your identity secure, a secure VPN antivirus password manager, and more US-based support available around the clock if something goes wrong. You think they know that I'm like reading it off the phone or no? Okay, cool. So how does it make you feel that these companies are ripping you off and making money off of your data? I know how it makes me feel. It makes me feel like Scooter at a spelling bee. But you can do something about it right now. Swing over to aura.com/Kentucky and you will get 14 days free. And during that 14 days, you will find out where your information has been exposed and sold. Again, a big thank you to Aura for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to it. All right, we are gonna start out with 22 long rifle. I highly doubt this tiny little 40 grains of lead is gonna penetrate 65 pounds, but we're gonna take a whack at it. This is a Smith & Wesson 22 Victory. Let's take a shot, see what happens. Here we go. Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure I saw the bullet come back. Oh yeah, that's it right there. It just bounced right off of that. Here's where we hit, and it actually put a pretty big dent in that lead. So I'm thinking there is a good chance we're gonna be able to blow through this whole block today, but it's definitely gonna take more than 22. Up next is going to be 9mm. This is my Century Arms AP5, and I have a 20-round mag loaded up with 1 round of 115 grain 9mm full metal jacket. Here we go. Okay, well, some lead came back at me. May need to scoot back. 9mm actually put quite the crater in this thing. That is a lot bigger than the 22, and it went pretty deep. So I've got high hopes that we're gonna be able to make it through this entire block today. Up next is gonna be the Lord's Caliber 45 ACP, and I have my super duper long slide Keeling Customs 1911, and I'm loaded up with 1 round of 45 ACP full metal jacket. I have scooted pretty far back because we're getting lead splash, so let's see if I can hit this thing. I hit it, and I see the bullet rolling around. Yeah, okay. I am glad that we scooted back. Right here, and I'm sure it is stinking hot. It is, yeah, it's hot. Right there is the 45 ACP. It smushed and came right back at us. Let's go have a look at the block. So you can really tell what caliber's which. 22, 9mm, 45 ACP put a pretty big dent in it, but did not penetrate much deeper than the 9. So from the data we have gathered thus far, I'm gonna say I highly doubt a handgun is gonna make it through that block, but we're gonna hit it with a few more before moving on to some bigger stuff. Up next is gonna be a 44 Magnum. This is a Smith & Wesson 629, and I'll be loaded up with some Underwood ammo, 245 grain, 44 mag, full metal jacket. And by the way, we're shooting at about 40 yards back now with a handgun. So if I miss, don't laugh at me. Again, this is why we have scooted back. Here is the bullet, and it is smushed, and it's actually not that hot. So here's our hit with the 44 Magnum. We removed quite a bit of lead from this block, but still doesn't look like we've penetrated much deeper. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and step it up to the Mac Daddy of handguns, the largest production handgun in the world, the 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum. This one has an 8 3/8 inch barrel, and I'm gonna be loaded up with a bullet that's not lead. These are Underwood ammo, 375 grain XPBs. I believe these are copper. So I'm very curious to see what it does to that lead block. I think I hit a little high, and I believe we removed some material. Okie dokie. Well, it looks like we did penetrate a little bit deeper, and because I hit it on the edge, we removed a chunk of that block, and I believe it is right here on the ground. Well, that's going to be it for the handguns. Let's move on to something a little bit bigger. And actually, I managed to find the bullet. It pretty much landed in the same spot all of the bullets have been landing, about 10 yards away from the block. And this thing's actually pretty hot, and it deformed quite a bit. So before we move on to rifles, I want to hit this thing with a 12 gauge slug. This is a Remington 887 pump action 12 gauge shotgun, and I'll be using a 1 ounce 12 gauge slug. I don't think we're gonna penetrate much, but should be pretty cool. Let's go have a look. Before we inspect the block, let's inspect this slug. Here it is on the ground. It is completely flattened out. That's crazy. And I'm pretty sure that is where we hit on the block. That slug fits in there quite nicely. So we have created quite a few craters in the front of this block. So now that we're moving on to rifles, I'm going to flip it so we have a fresh side. The first rifle we're gonna use is an AR-15. This is a Q Sugar Weasel, and I'm gonna be loaded up with a 20 round mag with 2 rounds of 5.56 full metal jacket. Here we go. Ooh. Okay, so we went pretty deep in there. I have a little bit of jacket from that. And as you can see, there's a pretty good crater in there. And it penetrated, I don't know, I would say about an inch. Next, we're gonna step it up to 308. This is a Thompson center bolt action rifle, and I'm gonna be using some Hornady Precision Hunter 178 grain 308. Okay, here we go. Wow, okay. I may want to scoot back a little further for these rifles. All right, well, we put a pretty big crater in that thing with the 308. I mean, that's a pretty deep hole. And here is a tiny little piece of that bullet left. It broke into a bunch of pieces. We're kind of running out of space on our block, so we're gonna go ahead and step it up to 300 Win Mag. This is a Christensen Arms Evoke, and I'll be loaded up with some Hornady Precision Hunter 200 grain rounds. Here we go. Okay, well, we may want to scoot back a little further. So, shooting lead is turning out to be rather eventful. We put a pretty big crater in that, but it doesn't look like it penetrated much more than the 308. We just carved out a lot more lead, and we had a lot more lead spew from the block at further distances. Okay, well now I think that we have kind of more of a fresh side on the pistol side. So I'm gonna flip this around and we're gonna hit it with our next rifle. So up next, we're gonna step it up to 408 Chi-Tac. This is a Chi-Tac M200 intervention, and we will be using a 419 grain round. Okay, so judging from what happened with the 300 Win Mag, I have scooted even further back. I'm about 100 yards back. I'm gonna shoot off the hood of this car. I have on a helmet, a face shield, and a neck shield because this is a solid copper round. If this doesn't break up, I'm not really sure where it's gonna go, and I definitely don't want it to hit me. So, we moved the entire block, which I want to say is pretty darn impressive because this thing is very heavy. Let's take a look at our shot. Oh, there is our new hole. This whole block right here is pretty warm. We came close to making it through, I guess. I don't know. I'd say we made it about halfway through. And there's something in there. Oh, that's not gonna come out. It's like stuck in there. Oh, it's right there. So two things. First of all, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get that bullet out of there with my knife. And second of all, I believe I was mistaken. Those are not solid copper rounds. I think they're full metal jackets, because if you look in here, that to me looks like a lead core. The 408 was not able to penetrate all the way through the lead block. So that just leaves us one choice. Our final rifle today is going to be a 50 BMG. This is a Serbu BFG 50A, and I'm gonna be loaded up with one round of 50 BMG 660 grain full metal jacket. Ah! Here we go. Oh. Oh, let's go check that out. Okie dokie, let's see if I can get to this thing. Looks like we blew it off the table. Ugh. Oh, let's have a look. Looks like we almost made it completely through. We hit right here, and we have quite the swipe through this block. And then it looks like it exited out the side. So it makes me wonder if that would have been completely square in the middle, would it have made it all the way through? I'm gonna say no, because if you look right here, even with it deviating out the side, we still have some lead left. So it just kind of slipped out the bottom. This lead block has proven to be quite the worthy foe. Now, my question for you is up next. Should we do this video again? And this time we hit it with the 20 millimeter. Let me know in the comment section down below. Well, the lead block was a little bit tougher than I thought it would be. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure and give it a like and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, if you want to get your start in firearms technology, be sure to check out SDI. There is a link in the description down below. Also, be sure and check me out on all other social media platforms. Links to those can be found in the description down below, along with a link to KentuckyBallistics.com, just in case you want to pick up a shirt. And as always, my name is Scott, and that's a pumpkin. And as always, my name is Scott. Thank you so much for watching Kentucky Ballistics. I'll see you next time.